I lost my entire family in one day because of a lie my daughter told. Even now, when I say those words out loud, my voice trembles, not because I am weak, but because some wounds never truly close. They sit quietly inside you, like old ghosts, waiting for a moment of silence to remind you they are still there. It happened 3 years ago. Before that day, my life was simple, small but full. I lived in the same house your grandfather built with his own hands. The walls were old, the paint chipped in places, but every corner held memories. Birthdays, festivals, laughter echoing through the halls. And my daughter, my only child, she was my world. I still remember the way she used to run into my arms as a little girl, calling me Ma with that sweet, innocent voice. I gave her everything I could. After her father passed away, it was just the two of us. I worked day and night, stitching clothes, cooking for others, just to make sure she never felt the absence of a father. Maybe that was my mistake. I loved her so much that I never learned to question her. When she grew up and got married, I thought my life had come full circle. She had a good husband, 2 beautiful children, and a life I had always dreamed of giving her. At first, she visited often. Every weekend, she would come with the kids. The house would come alive again, little footsteps running, laughter filling the air. But slowly, things began to change. Her visits became shorter. Her smiles became forced. Her eyes, they stopped meeting mine. I noticed it, of course. A mother always notices. But I told myself not to overthink. She must be busy, I said. Life gets complicated. One evening, she came alone. That day, something felt wrong the moment she stepped inside. She didn't hug me. She didn't even smile. She just stood there, her arms folded, looking around the house as if she didn't belong there anymore. Ma, she said, her voice cold, unfamiliar, we need to talk. I laughed nervously, trying to lighten the moment. Why so serious? Sit down, I'll make tea. No, she said sharply. This is important. That was the first time my heart skipped in fear. I sat down slowly. My hands were already trembling, though I didn't know why. She took a deep breath, as if preparing to say something heavy. Then she looked straight into my eyes and said, I know what you've been doing. I was confused. Doing what? Don't pretend, she snapped. People have seen you, talking to strange men, taking money from them. For a moment, I couldn't even understand the words. It felt like she was speaking a language I had never heard before. What are you saying? I whispered. I'm saying, she said, louder this time, that you've been shaming our family. At your age. Her words hit me like a slap. I stood up immediately. Have you lost your mind? What nonsense is this? But she didn't stop. I didn't want to believe it, she continued, her voice shaking with anger, but everyone is talking about it. The neighbors, relatives, even my husband's family knows. I felt the ground slipping beneath my feet. This is a lie, I said, my voice breaking. Who told you this? She hesitated for a second, just a second, and that was enough for me to know something was wrong. But then she hardened again. It doesn't matter who told me. What matters is that it's true. No, I shouted. Look at me. I am your mother. Do you really believe I would do something like this? For a moment, just a moment, I saw doubt in her eyes. But then it vanished. People don't lie about these things, she said coldly. I walked toward her, my hands folded, my dignity forgotten. Please, listen to me. I have never done anything like that. I don't even step out of the house unless necessary. She stepped back, as if I were dirty. That was the moment something inside me broke. I can't let this continue, she said. My children will not be exposed to this kind of behavior. Behavior, I repeated, unable to believe what I was hearing. I think it's best, she continued, avoiding my eyes now, if we keep some distance. Distance. Such a small word, but it destroyed everything. You're leaving me? I asked, my voice barely audible. I'm protecting my family, she replied. I wanted to scream. I wanted to shake her, to remind her of every sacrifice I had made. But all I could do was stand there, frozen. She turned to leave, and just before stepping out, she said something that I will never forget. Don't try to contact us. It will only make things worse. The door closed, and with it, my entire world. At first, I thought it was just anger, that she would come back after a few days. But she didn't. Instead, the calls stopped. Relatives stopped visiting. Neighbors started whispering. People I had known for decades began avoiding me. Some would look at me with pity, others with disgust. I tried to talk to them to explain, but they would just nod awkwardly and walk away. The lie had spread, and it had grown bigger with every passing day. I didn't even know what exactly people were saying anymore. Every version was worse than the last. Some said I was taking money from strangers. Some said I was meeting men at night. Some said things I cannot even bring myself to repeat. I stopped stepping outside. I stopped answering the door. I stopped being myself. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And in that silence, one question kept haunting me. Why? Why would my own daughter do this to me? What had I done to deserve such a cruel betrayal? Little did I know, the truth was far more painful than the lie itself. And when I finally discovered it, it didn't just break my heart. It changed the way I saw love forever. The truth didn't come to me all at once. It came slowly, like drops of poison, each one more painful than the last. For months, I lived like a shadow in my own house. I stopped looking in the mirror because I no longer recognized the woman staring back at me. Was I really the same mother who had once been her daughter's entire world? One afternoon, there was a knock on my door. I almost didn't open it, but something inside me, a faint, dying hope, made me walk toward it. When I opened the door, I saw my neighbor's son, Ramesh. He looked nervous, shifting from one foot to another. "Auntie," he said softly, "can I come in?" I nodded silently. He sat down, but he couldn't meet my eyes. That's when I knew he had come with something heavy. "Say it," I told him. "Whatever it is, I've already heard worse." He swallowed hard. "Auntie, people are saying things, but I don't believe them." I gave a faint, tired smile. "That makes one of you." He hesitated again. I heard something else too. Something you should know." My heart began to race. "What is it?" I asked. "It's about your daughter," he said. The moment he mentioned her, my chest tightened. "What about her?" He looked up finally, his eyes filled with guilt. Auntie, they're saying she told everyone that you were trying to sell the house without telling her. I frowned, confused. Sell the house? Why would I do that? And, he continued slowly, she said you were being manipulated by strangers, that you were meeting them secretly, taking money from them. The same lie, but this time, there was something different. A reason, a purpose. I felt a chill run through my body. Why would she say that? I whispered. Ramesh didn't answer immediately. He looked around the house, the old furniture, the cracked walls, the fading photographs. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. Auntie, I think she wants this house. For a moment, everything went silent. The ticking clock on the wall stopped. The air felt heavy. Even my own breath seemed too loud. No, I said immediately. No, she wouldn't do that. She's my daughter. But even as I said those words, they felt hollow, because deep down, I had already begun to suspect it. Ramesh continued gently. I heard her talking to a property agent a few weeks ago. She was asking about the value of this house. My legs gave way, and I sat down heavily. All this time, all this pain, was it really just about money? About walls and land? I remembered that moment, the hesitation in her eyes when I asked who told her the lie. There was no someone. She was the one who created it. She had built a story so ugly, so shameful, that no one would dare question it. Because who would defend an old woman accused of such things? No one. Tears rolled down my cheeks, but this time, they felt different. Not just pain, but clarity. After Ramesh left, I sat alone for hours, thinking, remembering, connecting every broken piece. And slowly, the truth stood before me, clear and undeniable. My daughter didn't just abandon me. She erased me. She turned me into a story people would avoid, a name they would whisper, a woman they would never stand beside. All so she could take what I had. That night, I didn't cry. For the first time in months, I didn't feel weak. I felt empty. And in that emptiness, something new was born. Strength. The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in a long time. I stepped outside. The same neighbors who once avoided me were there. Some looked surprised, some uncomfortable. But this time, I didn't lower my eyes. I walked straight to the center of the street and spoke. Yes, I said loudly, my voice steady. I've heard what you all are saying about me. People began to gather. Whispers filled the air. But today, I continued, I will tell you the truth. And I did. I told them everything. My life, my sacrifices, the accusation, and finally, the real reason behind it. Some people looked shocked, some ashamed, some still doubtful. But it didn't matter anymore, because I wasn't speaking to convince them. I was speaking to free myself. A few days later, my daughter came. Of course she did. The moment her story began to crack, she had no choice. She walked into the house as if nothing had happened. But I was no longer the woman she had left behind. I heard you've been telling stories, she said, trying to sound confident. I looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time in my life, I didn't see my little girl. I saw a stranger. I learned from the best, I replied calmly. She flinched. "Ma, let's not do this," she said. "We can fix everything." "Fix?" I repeated. "Can you fix the nights I cried myself to sleep? Can you fix the way people looked at me? Can you fix the part of me that died the day you walked out?" She had no answer. Silence filled the room. "I didn't do it for nothing," she said finally, her voice softer now. "This house, it's valuable. We could have." "Stop," I said firmly. "And she did. You didn't just try to take this house," I continued. "You tried to take my dignity, my identity, my life." Tears filled her eyes now. "I'm sorry." Those words, I had waited so long to hear them, but now they meant nothing. "I forgive you," I said quietly. Her face lit up for a moment, but then I added, "Not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace." Her smile faded. "You can't stay here," I said. "Ma." "This house," I continued, "will not go to someone who destroyed me to own it." She stood there, frozen. "I have already decided," I said. "After I'm gone, this house will be donated to people who truly need it." Her eyes widened. "You can't be serious." "I have never been more serious in my life." She tried to argue, to plead, but I had already made my decision. And for the first time, I chose myself. As she walked out of that door, I didn't cry. I didn't call her back. I didn't feel broken, because that day, I didn't lose my family. I found my freedom.